Hello there, Sarah from 17 once again. This is my Dead Space 3 Impossible Difficulty video walkthrough. This is Chapter 15, A Change of Fortune. And this is a sequence I thought was in the last video, but it wasn't. It's in this one. So what you have to do here is you have to connect the pieces. It's literally, the thigh bone connects to the leg bone and all that good stuff, so that we can make this monster whole. And it's an interesting section. It's a puzzle, and puzzles are fun. This one is kind of cool. It'd be easier if we knew what the damn thing looked like, but I suppose that's half the fun, half the mystery of messing about with the slides. And the fact that sometimes when you try and pick the slides up it doesn't work, that's kind of gay too. But on a previous video I've mentioned that it'd be nice to know if you can control the mutation of the necromorphs. And some people have left some comments on their ideas and their versions of why they change and things on that nature, but they're extremely vague. And one thing I'd like to put out there now, guys, is unless you are 100% certain that you can control how they mutate, when they mutate, and there's a way to avoid them, fruitless speculation is completely pointless. Because you're okay saying this works sometimes and that works other times. That's essentially just saying it doesn't fucking work, and that's not what I'm looking for. I think it's probably random. I think it's designed to be random, but at the same time it's always nice if you can figure out a way to game the system, because that's some of the parts of games that I find the most fun, when you can actually dictate the outcome of every fight. But this sequence here, this is shorter than the previous missions because it's more straightforward, it's more action-packed. Doesn't necessarily make it a better mission, but it's definitely a little bit more challenging in regards to a Twitcher fight that's coming up, which I really don't like. And I don't like it because when you try and shoot the people on the roofs with the rockets, sometimes your bullets will miss because there's an invisible wall around them, and it's really shitty. It's super shitty. I'm not a fan at all. But this is another story bead. There's a transition after the story bead because I don't want to put that stuff in my walkthrough. The main reason for that is this is a guide on how to beat the game, not how to watch cutscenes. If you need help watching a cutscene, you also need help in life and should probably, administer yourself into some kind of special ward. There is another transition, getting rid of more exposition. So it might not be immediately apparent, but you don't want to touch the fire. If you touch any of the flame, you're going to have a real bad time. And this is when things get a little bit more military. And what I mean by that is we're going to be facing Danik's troops with necromorphs and various other things. So just get ready for a bit of cover-based shooting and nonsense along those lines. And if you want the achievement for telekinesis in rockets back to enemies, this is the perfect opportunity to get it. There is the scavenger bots coming back. There is a handful of ration seals. We need 25 more to get the elite pack off the downloadable content store. So we're not quite close enough to gain some awesome Mark V parts just yet, but hopefully you will be, because you'll have been throwing down these bots all the time, which is the best way to use them in my opinion. Obviously aside from doing the resource glitch, which I did not do it during this guide. I will not do it during this guide because it's completely pointless. If I'm going to be spending hours to completely upgrade my soldier to ridiculous levels, how the hell am I showing you how to beat the game? All I'm doing is showing you how to exploit something that people have found, and anybody can do that. So that is the way. That is why this guide is the way it is. That is why this guide I do not upgrade my life or my armor. The motivation for that is not because I'm sadistic or I want to prove something to somebody. It's because I find if I had upgraded something along the lines of life or armor and somebody watching my video hasn't, they will struggle and they will immediately say the only reason they can't do it is because I have more life than them. So if I'm at the bare minimum, it means every single person who gets into that situation can do the area because I did it. And that's the motivation, hopefully. That is the mindset that I've got. This bit sucks, because there's a lot of soldiers that are very accurate. They throw stasis grenades, they clip you from a distance. It wants you to use the cover, and I refuse to use the cover because it's trash and I hate it. That is a stasis grenade as well, and I think it gets me. Yeah, watch this. Oh yeah, stasis grenade. If you get stasis and there's anybody near you, you are dead. because you just can't do anything fast enough. It's hilarious. And you can actually do that to yourself if you use an explosive weapon with stasis coating on it. It doesn't make much sense, it's definitely not recommended, but it happens. And I'm nearly dead, and as you can tell, Isaac didn't even flinch. Just took it like a man, which I don't like, because it doesn't tell me I'm taking damage. There's no feedback, so I think I'm okay. And look at this, goodness me, double trouble right there. Anybody who doesn't know what gun I'm using, that is the underslung Magnum on a plasma cutter, and it did make pretty decent work of those enemies, but don't be fooled by it. The Magnum is more impressive than it actually is. It sounds and looks better than its delivery, which is a shame, because I wanted it to be like a Falcon Punch. Falcon Bang some people. Speaking of Smash Brothers, there is a new Fire Emblem coming out. I think it's on the 3DS, and everybody's going nuts for it. And I don't have a 3DS, and I'm probably not going to buy one. But there's a part of me that really wants to play that game, and it stems from the fact that on Super Smash Bros. Melee, if you ever played it back on the good old GameCube, Marth was my favourite character. I loved him. It was one of those things where when I played it with my friends, there was this universal rule where I kind of didn't use Marth because I was too good with him. And that's not really ego, it's just a case of, you know, when you play with your friends and everybody has that character that when they play as them, it's a bit of a bloodbath. He was my character for that. So I'd intentionally play as characters that people didn't really like because of this fact. So I was usually like Jigglypuff or Dr. Mario and silly things like that. Or I'd play as Ness and I'd just keep on using the lightning. And I'd essentially be a troll to my friends back in the days when, you know, not many people were on the internet doing that kind of stuff, and it was more split screen and, you know, humiliating your buddies than anything else. But Marth was always my favourite, and he is, I think, one of the main characters in Fire Emblem. I know he's from Fire Emblem, but I've never really played them. And the new one, you know, sounds pretty damn awesome. So I'd like to check it out, but I don't see me buying a 3DS anytime soon. And like, can you even capture a 3DS? I assume you can, but I bet you've got to do a lot of fucking singing and dancing to get it done, which is one of the gayest things nowadays. Like, everything's so complicated. Like my PS3, plugging in my PS3 to capture involves removing all the component cables from the back of my TV, from my Xbox, and swapping them to the PlayStation versions, because my PVR does not do HDMI, which is a pain in the ass, because if it did, it would literally be pull one cable out, put another cable in. But it's not. It's pull a whole bunch of different coloured ones, and even though you plug them all in correctly, sometimes they don't work, so you have to fiddle about with them and mess with the AV settings, and it's just a nightmare. Which is why when I ever do a PlayStation project, I can't play my Xbox, because it's not like I can just simply switch between them. I have to commit to playing the PlayStation for a set amount of time. And I know a lot of people that really like their PS3s are probably going to be like, well, that doesn't sound like a bad thing. PS3 is awesome, there's all those games that you love playing. Well, I don't. My PS3 is like a fucking Blu-ray player that sits collecting dust. It sits on a shelf like a bread bin doing nothing. And the games I have for it are amazing, but there's no real pull to play them, because they're not that amazing. In fact, I think, personally, the PlayStation 3 is probably my all-time most disappointing console I've ever bought. And I hate to say that, because it had all the potential in the world, it just never really rose to it. And that is an opinion, guys, that's not me trying to start a console war or anything. The PlayStation is superior to the 360 in every conceivable way when it comes to its hardware. It's the software that I have a problem with. And the fact that, you know, it's only the main developers that get full benefit out of it, because nobody else can fucking program for it. But this is a really rough fight, this, guys. This is a shit ton of black necromorphs that I've got on a lovely conga line. One thing to bear in mind, there is a dude to my right who will occasionally throw grenades at you in this corner. They can hit you, they can do a lot of damage, but for everything else, there's Asda price, and you're safe. So this is literally funneling them into this corridor. There's the grenade. I know it's coming, but I think it lands away from me. So once you kill all of these, there might be there's a couple soldiers that are going to come, and then this room's going to go really quiet. And what it wants you to do is it wants you to run up to the doorway, and when you hit the doorway, a whole shit ton of twitchers are going to spawn. An entire football team filled with twitchers turns up, and to make it even worse, the door that I'm staring at, above it is a catwalk, and two guys with rocket launchers spawn. And it becomes a battle royale, because the rocket launcher guys are going to fire at everything, the splash damage on the rockets is obnoxious, and the twitchers are going to come for you. You don't take a lot of damage on this difficulty, and I'm going to get beat up pretty much more than I've been beat up in this game so far. And just know that when I was playing, not only was it pretty damn intense, but I was tapping heal at every opportunity just in case, because at any moment my torso could have flopped off, and then you have to do this entire engagement again. But listen out for the soldiers, you can hear the footsteps, you can generally hear them talk. Once you've killed all of the ones on the ground, there's one guy left, he's up on a little cliff, he's the guy who threw the grenade. Don't try to cheese him by shooting, by exploiting the cover. It doesn't work. Your bullets will not register. This game is drunk sometimes. But once he's dead, we're going to need to run upwards, make sure everything is reloaded, make sure you're in the right position to cause some chaos. And my strategy is simple, but it doesn't work. My plan was to fire with kinesis the rockets back at the guys, and I do this to both of them, but I only kill one of them, and the fact I don't kill the second guy makes this fight significantly worse than it should be. And what you need to do is back up until they speak. You need to go to the console. Let's have a look. Go to the console, Chris. This is not going to spawn them. Oh, it did. I must have not heard them, so... There's the first rocket. Oh no, that's both rockets right there. And I think they're dead. I think it's good to go now. I think it's just me and the twitchers. But you'll notice fucking laser sight, splash damage, and I've got an entire group of gangbangers all around me. So it's just get to the bottom of the door. He can't shoot at his feet. There's logic to this. So I move over here, start clipping the twitchers, control them with the force gun, take the limbs, and more of the bastards turn up. And it's one of those things where you're thinking, come on guys, there can't be many of these. Let's take them out. Here he comes doing his grass cutter moves. I pop a couple of med packs there, clip their arms, another twitcher. And it doesn't look like much when you're watching it, because I'm actually kind of surprised that this looks quite tame, really. But when I was playing it, my heart was beating like a motherfucker. I mean, look how many there is. They're everywhere. You can hear me popping meds, just popping meds like a crack addict. Stasis. I'm onto the plasma cutter now because I need to reload my force gun, or I might even be out of ammo for it. I'm getting low on life. Pop another med, another twitcher. Look at him just slapping my tits off. There goes the force gun. And I think these are the last two. There we go. But the tension doesn't end there because I've got to kill the guy with the rocket launcher, and I think he catches me with some splash damage and it puts me on a really paranoid note. Like, now I think about it, maybe I could have gone back into the corner I was previously in, and maybe the rocket launcher guy wouldn't have given me any problems, but I didn't want to risk it because it seemed like he could hit me with the splash damage. Look at this. Look at this bullshit. Invisible walls. God, I hate stuff like that. And the only time you can hit him is when he can hit you, which isn't fair. But that is the end of the firefight. That is one of the most challenging rooms on the game. Hopefully you'll have a much better time than I did. But now that we've done this is the end of chapter 15. We're now about to do the ridiculous abseiling chapter, which is up there with my all-time most pointless sequences in any game I've ever played. And if you don't like abseiling, get ready for a whole bunch of it, because this just takes the cake. It really does. But there's going to be this puzzle here, then I'm going to walk down a corridor, and that's pretty much it. So thank you for watching, guys, and as always, you take care now.